Welcome back. Believe it or not, keeping your friends around you or making new friends is good for your brain health. Joining us now to talk about that is Elizabeth Kolstad. Thank you for being on our show, Liz.
You're welcome.
So let's just dive right in and start out by talking about how does socialization help your brain?
Well, our brains are actually built for socialization. So the brain size to body size ratio is linked with the importance of social network. And humans have the biggest brain to body size ratio of all of the species. So our brains are built to socialize. Socialization in all its forms, both indirect and direct, really helps us function. So the indirect effects of socialization are we sleep better, we have a better immune system, we're more creative, we're more cognitively productive. All of those effects help us feel better, and if we feel better, we tend to do more. And as we do more, we tend to socialize more. And then there are the direct effects. Socialization has been linked to a decreased chance of getting dementia. And in animal studies, socialization has been shown to increase the number of synapses in the brain. So we have indirect and direct effects that say socialization is one of the best things you can do for your health and your brain health.
That's great. So are there certain kinds of socialization that are better than others? For example, if I went and had lunch with a friend and caught up versus catching up with her over the phone, which one is better?
Face-to-face is always the best because it engages more of your brain. And the more of your brain that you engage, the better off you're going to be. So face-to-face is best. Talking with a friend over the phone is fine as well. Doing Skype is fine. The more real-time the socialization, the better. So face-to-face is best, talking on the phone is next. Texting is actually a little bit better than going on Facebook. So face-to-face is the best and most active.
So that was actually going to be my next question, social media. Do you get any benefits from being on Facebook as far as brain health goes?
You know, you get some, and some of it could be the introduction or a way into then becoming a friend with somebody and then meeting up with them later. So the best you can do is face-to-face, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be taking a walk and saying hi to a neighbor, going to the grocery store and talking to the clerk, being in a choir, going to church, going to the library and speaking to the librarian. It doesn't have to be extensive. It just has to be a little bit every day, and that has been linked to brain health.
Okay, great. And we talked last segment a little bit with Diana about how exercise can help reduce your chances for dementia. Does socialization have similar effects?
It does. There was a study at Johns Hopkins. The researchers there looked at 147 pairs of male twins and did a longitudinal study and found that those males who had better socialization in mid to late life had a decreased incidence of dementia. So we have some pretty good research, and there was another longitudinal study that looked at all the longitudinal studies and said that there's a decreased chance of getting dementia with increased socialization. They don't know exactly what the mechanism is. There are 3 potential mechanisms, but they do know that the link is pretty clear.
That's great. Well, so let's come at this from the other side. What about loneliness? So if socialization is beneficial to your brain, is being alone then having negative effects on your brain?
Yes. You know, loneliness is not a natural state for human beings. We're meant to connect. And loneliness and being alone can lead to depression, it can lead to poor sleep, and it can lead to increased suspiciousness and increased isolation. So all of those things it can decrease sleep as well. So all of those things make it bad for your health physically, and bad for your emotional health, and bad for your brain health.
Okay. What about pets? Do pets count when it comes to socialization?
Absolutely. The skin is the largest organ that we have in our body, and just petting an animal, even a cricket, they have found. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a lovable animal. Petting an animal actually increases the love hormone oxytocin in humans and in the pet that you're petting. It also provides a great mechanism to talk about. So if you're walking your dog or having a cat that's really attractive, it's a great thing to talk to other people about. So it actually can be the medium for socialization.
That's great. You talked a little bit about mood and feeling isolated, and that mood actually does impact the brain. Can you talk a little bit more about that? What does mood do?
If we're depressed or stressed or alone, and those three things often go together, it can create a chronic stress response in the brain and in the body. And that chronic stress response has an impact on your immune system. It can create heart difficulties, diabetes. The stress response can create a whole host of physical ailments that then can compromise your brain health.
Okay, we're almost out of time, but just really quickly, for those folks who maybe don't have a lot of ways to interact with other people, or they're not sure how to get out there and be social, do you just have 1 or 2 tips that can get them started?
Start small. It doesn't have to be big. Take a short walk, say hello to people, practice smiling in the mirror just to see what you look like and how engaging you can be when you smile. Talk to the clerk at the store, go to the library. So start small, anything will do.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Liz.
You're so welcome.
Great information. We need to take a break, but coming up next, you've heard the phrase, you are what you eat. Well, that goes for your brain too. How certain foods can boost your brain power right after this. Don't go away.